Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang
Aw dang it is right. Gone are the days where you have to go into a casino to gamble. Cards, poker chips, slot machines have all been replaced by smartphones. And no, I'm not saying casinos don't exist anymore. Rather, that placing your bets on anything and everything is easier and more accessible than ever. And here's why I think that might not be a good thing. Hi, I'm Athena, and I'm wondering how we got ourselves into this mess. Gambling on everything? Wait, what? I'm in the middle of filming. One moment. What do you mean I can't call it gambling? No, that's what it is. Oh, fine, whatever, okay. Sorry. Using a prediction market to invest in futures on everything is fairly new in its widespread form. Only 7 out of 50 states have legalized online gambling. But the trick here is that this whole thing isn't gambling. At least, not on paper. Perhaps the most well-known app, Kalshi, and its competitors don't even have gambling licenses. So, how do they do it? What they do have is they have a very smart loophole that allows them to bring in more money than a casino could ever dream of. So, with apps like these, there essentially is no house. Online prediction markets are people trading against each other. Kalshi really got its start after registering with the CFTC, which stands for Commodity Futures Trading Commission. After stating their case that it is not gambling, it's an event contract. Think closer to the stock market. And that teeny tiny distinction is the reason we can now literally place bets on anything, even this video. How am I doing, y'all? Ooh, that's not good. Now that we know the legal technicalities of online prediction markets, let's look at some of the absolute crazy things that have been bet on, as well as some of the advertisements that none of us can seem to escape, including myself. So, like I said before, you can bet on just about anything. Some of, if not the most notable example, was the 2024 presidential election, which that whole thing did get Kalshi into some very, very hot water. But they sued their own regulator and eventually were able to resume placing bids on the election. See, everything works out. After the election, Donald Trump's own son, Donald Trump Jr., became Kalshi and their competitors' strategic advisor. Neither of those things are a conflict of interest at all, right? To further things, let's talk about the use of lobbying by this app. Kalshi has been working with lobbyists, especially in 2024, to the tune of over $380,000, with one lobbyist in particular who used to be a United States Senator and was the architect for the Dodd-Frank Act. Now, if you were like me before researching this video, you have no idea what the Dodd-Frank Act is or what it does. The Dodd-Frank Act was a legislation that helped protect consumers in the United States and created a higher standard for regulation. It created the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It also prevented too-big-to-fail corporations and protected consumers and taxpayers alike from bailouts as well as abusive financial practices. This was in 2010, so in a little over 10 years, the woman who helped create the act was now arguing against it in a court of law for what seemingly and comparatively is a relatively small amount of money. Figures. Being able to bet on the outcome of something so important, as well as the actions of others, can create a motive for those people being bet on to try to push potential outcomes. Now, I'm not saying any of that has happened. I'm just saying it gives a very good motive. But you can bet on anything at all, to the most minute detail, and this allows prediction market apps to cast as wide of a net as humanly possible. Because everyone cares about something. And now, you can bet on it. And for the app's founder, this has always been what it's about. Here's a direct quote from the founder himself. You know, Kalshi is everything in Arabic. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a trainable asset out of any difference of opinion. Truly heartwarming. So, not only do huge corporations want to profit off of your time, money, attention, labor, but also every thought, feeling, and opinion, and by extension, our difference of those opinions. I believe that this can be very dangerous due to the fact that it basically throws any and all critical thinking out the window. You would be a lot less likely to reconsider or challenge your own viewpoint if there's money involved. And the idea of involving money could actually lead people to start adopting thoughts and opinions that may not be true or could even be dangerous to themselves or others. I'm in the camp of believing that people should spend time thinking about things simply for the sake of thinking about it and also enriching their own mind and broadening their knowledge. That way, these thoughts and opinions can be fully formed instead of some half-baked ideas that were developed through chasing money and those sweet, sweet dopamine hits. I fear the more widespread this becomes, the less people will actually be able to talk to each other like normal human beings. Every opinion becomes a bet, and people aren't actually listening to each other because all they can hear is the sounds of profit. And now a word from our sponsor, Kalshi. Okay, come on, you know that wasn't gonna happen. But seriously, these ads are everywhere. And it might seem like I'm picking on Kalshi more than the other apps, but this is just because they're the most prevalent and the most highly advertised. Also, corporations aren't people. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the ad before this video was related to them in any way. Disappointed, but not surprised. These ads that are seen literally everywhere on and offline have actually upset quite a lot of people. They're annoying. One of the more recent ones was an AI advertisement showing the religious figure, Jesus, from the Bible, being bet on. In addition to this, there is constant promotion of these apps on TikTok and other places like it, with people sharing just how much they've won and how you could win too if you just downloaded the app. And the most important one is as of tomorrow, or at least tomorrow after I'm filming this, Google will allow prediction market-based advertisements onto its platforms, which means here as well. So if you're seeing an uptick in the prediction market app advertisement after January 21st, 2026, you know why. In reality, there is no way to avoid these advertisements unless you go out and live in the middle of the woods with no cell service and no internet, which in that case, you wouldn't be seeing this video. But the prevalence and pervasiveness of these ads, it can be dangerous to people who already have gambling addictions or who are more prone to gambling addictions. But how can we expect companies to care about the health and well-being of people when it affects their bottom line? Now, you could argue that this falls under a person's personal responsibility, but I'd have to argue against that. While personal responsibility does play a role and have some factor, we really can't pretend like people are immune to advertisements or that addictions, and specifically in this instance, gambling addictions, are fake. These advertisements take up every single space we occupy online. And they have an endless budget. And in my view, prediction markets fall under the same category of gambling in the way that it can be very addictive. And maybe even worse. Unlike traditional gambling, where you'd have to go into a casino and place money or chips into a machine or someone's hand, you can place bets anywhere when there aren't others around you. And you can even bet isolated in your own apartment. And there's not going to be anyone to see you and say, hey, it might be time to stop. Not only will this create an isolating experience, but also a very dangerous one. Now, I know some of you know your limits, and I fully respect that. But a lot of people don't know their limits until it's too late. These apps are also more accessible than ever. And I mean that not in the yay wheelchair ramp way. I mean it as in a child can go into a casino and they would get kicked out immediately. If a child takes an adult's phone and decides to start placing bets, nobody would know. And my final reason is because since it's not called gambling legally, it falls into that weird gray area, and there's a lot less stigma around it, meaning that people will think it's less risky, more safe, and more people are willing to try it. Also, there are looser and less regulations involved than a traditional casino might have. And if you do win one of these with your predictions, congratulations! You might win a lot of money, and you might feel really good. But that money that you won pales in comparison to the fact that the money you received is pocket change to a company now worth over $11 billion. I don't have any personal experience with gambling or online prediction markets myself, but I have personally seen the effects of these things in real life and seen many people that I care about fall into serious financial trouble because of them. If you feel like online prediction markets are starting to become a problem for you, please check out some of the resources I've left in the description below. You are not alone, and things can get better. Thank you so much for watching this video. A lot goes into these, and I appreciate every like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any experience with these types of apps, please share your experience. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear if you agree or disagree with the things I've said today. Also, if you have anything that you would like for me to speak on next, please let me know in the comments. I hope you have a day just as beautiful as you are, and I love you so very much. Bye.